Hi, I'm the host of the STO Smokers Lounge. I'm here to tell you about Anchor, the perfect app that you can use right now to start your own podcast network. You can broadcast right now. All you got to do is download the app, whether you have a phone, iPad, or even a laptop or desktop. You can right now download Anchor or go to Anchor FM right now and start recording and have your stuff broadcasted over multiple platforms such as Spotify. So go to Anchor today and start your podcast career like I have. Because trust me, I love me some Anchor.
I'm good.
So how's your week? How your week been?
It's been pretty good. Just around the house doing little stuff. Nothing fun.
Oh yeah, I know them days. Shoot, I had a week off, but shit, it wasn't off from the pod. A whole bunch of recording.
Right, got you.
But I guess it's a pleasurable chore. Now, it's something you said you wanted to bring up because you listened in on the live that me and Havoc had. We were talking about solo artists. What did you want to bring up?
So, you guys were talking about solo artists not getting, just being able to get into the industry without having to go through the rigmarole of, finding producers or, other boy-girl scenes. So, for me, that kind of hit differently. Simply because I got too many adulting responsibilities that I can't really get into with another person in the mix trying to be responsible to make content with a producer or another person, and all the fan sites now to make you jump through hoops to have other content creators there with you, in your videos. They make you have so much paperwork, or they have to have their own account and linked. So I felt like that was
attack.
Yeah, not an attack. No. Just like a different perspective to what you guys were talking about.
Well, since we're talking about that, this is the thing what it is when it comes to solo artists. It's not about you coming in the business of solo artists, because understand, take it from a guy who lives in North Carolina. And part of the reason why he retired because it's hell finding a girl to film with. So I can imagine the hell y'all go through finding male talent. My point is this when it comes to solo artists. One, speaking to the ones that do not want to do boy-girl, okay? I'm speaking to certain points.
Right.
One, if you're going to not do boy-girl, make your solo so fucking good that we forget. That means you put time and effort into it. That means that you actually come up with a concept. You're not giving the same old lame old bullshit with you fucking yourself with a dildo in the bathtub wearing a bonnet with a dirty rope. Where it come from? And I'm not even just talking about it because of variety. Because, okay, let's say you that solo girl that you do solos out your car. After 6 scenes, you done bored me.
Yep.
And guess what happens? I'm taking my subscription back.
Yep. No, that part I get.
Yeah. So with that, on the other end, girls, because solo has become so prominent, think it's easy to get into business because of it.
Right. And it's still not. Yeah.
They automatically assume that you can make a shit solo, not understanding, which you understood early, that your fan base changed quick. And after seeing you for a certain amount of time doing solos, they're going to want to see you with a dude. And the point being is, the whole point, people, is variety.
Yeah.
Don't bore your fan base. And the biggest mistake girls make, and I hope girls understand this, never underestimate the intelligence of your fan base. Don't think that they're going to be dumbfounded or they're going to be in awe because you're playing with your coochie for 15 scenes. No, because after a while, what's going to happen is you're going to get those emails or dudes ask for that boy girl. After a while, if you ain't giving it to them, you feel, then you're going to lose money. So what I tell girls when it comes to doing boy-girl content, the kicker of it is one, if you can find a dude that's in your state, because a lot of times we have somebody in our state we could fuck with. The problem is that girls don't understand choosing because I need him for this content. Don't choose him because I want to fuck him.
Right.
You might want to fuck, but you might want to, but you can fuck him enough so you can get content to make money. Long as the nigga is adequate, long as the dude is adequate enough for you to work with. You feel what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
it's kind of like, no, go ahead, speak.
No, I just said absolutely. I agree. Because, like, for me personally, having a content partner, I need to have that chemistry on screen, not just there to fuck. Because if I don't feel the chemistry with you, we ain't making a great team.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I tell girls the blueprint to this business, so people can understand this. You have a residential male talent. Residential male talent is the dude that you shoot with on the regular. That's the dick that you know. That's the dick that you know. You know where his dick been. You ain't even got to he ain't even got to be tested with your monkey ass. Because you already know where it been. And preferably you want the guy to actually be an industry dude because guess what? You can tap into his fan base. And you got somebody that's professional. Guess what? If y'all dating, y'all break up, you don't have a male talent. He's married and his girlfriend understands that what he does, you got yourself a male talent. Versus you got this dude you been fucking, he gets a girlfriend, he really wasn't trying to be in the business. And guess what? Now you can't do your fucking, you lose out on $1,000 custom because this nigga decide he want to be in a relationship. So it's kind of like, so the point I'm making is that ladies, when they walk into this business, you got to think 5-6 years ahead. Don't think 2 months. Don't think because I'm walking in and all I got to do is play in my pussy with a dildo. You're not. Because unless you a fucking celebrity, unless you Cardi B, unless you Beltran, unless you one of these ladies that already walking in with 1 million plus motherfuckers following you into it, you're not going to make the money straight off a solo. Because the reason why I say that, I always use Mulan Blossom. I love her to death. This girl did that for 4 years. Guess what the fuck she doing now? She's sucking a dick and fucking somebody because the motherfuckers got tired of her ass playing her fucking pussy. Instead of porn. Because when you listen to Jim Cornette, you hear me. I just talk about porn. He talks about wrestling. We can get this stuff. Okay, baby?
All right. Sounds good.
No doubt. Welcome to the on Anchor, the perfect app for anyone who's trying to start their own podcasting network. You know what it is. Go to anchor.fm. Go to anchor.fm. Go to the Anchor. Find the Anchor app on your app store and download it today. You can monetize your stuff now, make money right away, get distributed, and it's all for free. I'm your host, Kevin Arbor Southern Champ, aka the PornRapStar. Y'all know what it is. Go to allmylinks.com/PornRapStar to find my porn, my music, and my social media with one. Also, we are sponsored by the Facebook of the LS community, talking about lsworld.com. Go to today, get yourself a profile, and start your adventure into the LS community. And also find events you might could attend to further that journey. And also, we're the proud member of the GW District Black Podcast Network. I'm talking about multiple podcasts. Give you the Black experience, and while you there at shopgwdistrict.com, get some shopping done where you can buy products from over 500 Black retailers. Can't beat that with a stick. So go to shopgwdistrict.com, support Black businesses, build the Black economy, create generational wealth so we can live better. Now I'm going to sit back and let my very special and sexy smoke buddy introduce herself.
Hey, I'm Cat Phoenix, otherwise known as Kitty Cat Phoenix on Twitter and Instagram. I'm just here talking with my friend, PornRapStar.
PornRapStar. Most definitely. Now, y'all can hear her interview, period, and stuff, and it will be released worldwide later on. And you're going to hear on a couple of episodes, come think about it. And we're planning a video podcast. Stay tuned. Me and her going to hook up sooner than y'all think. But anyway, so, but like I said, but it to me, like I said, with the solo thing, it's nothing wrong with coming in with solo. Cause I even do solos. Actually, I got a solo custom that I got to do, which is funny. And it's crazy as fuck. Because the dude apparently gets off of the best way for me to be is an old pimp who discusses a group of guys that we get some young college girl. We gangbang. She think it's all good that we turn it on and end up, holding it down and shitting in her face and farting in her face and shitting on it and all that stuff.
Oh
So I supposed
wow.
to tell this story while sitting there with just a tank top with my dick out, talking about it, playing with myself and all that shit. Period. And
Oof.
it's funny, this is my second custom, period. But the
Hmm.
point being, like I said, with women and men, the way we come into business is different. Y'all can come in most definitely doing solo. We really can't because our fan base don't respond to that. You feel what I'm saying? Speak on it.
Yes. No, I agree. I agree. There is a definite different twist when it comes to the solo artist versus boy versus girl. It
Mm-hmm.
there's I'm trying to think how to put this in words. Um, honestly, for me, I didn't even anticipate to get this far as a solo artist.
Mm-hmm.
I've only been
Mm-hmm.
doing this for a year,
Mm-hmm.
so I
But I
can't
mean,
even
you,
imagine.
but truth, most solo artists like Mulan Blossom, she did it for 3 years before she actually
Yes.
went boy. Nothing wrong with the 3 years. You get what I'm saying? So with you
Yeah.
doing it within the first year, there's nothing wrong with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, totally. I love Mulan Blossom. I love watching her stuff and how
Yeah.
she's evolved over the last 3 years. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely get that. And for me, I'm actually being able to expand into boy girl a little bit sooner than three
Mm-hmm.
years.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the stuff we were going to talk about, the polyam, my poly
Yeah.
boyfriend, it has allowed me to start using our stuff on my fan pages as a way
Well,
to
that's good.
start into boy girl stuff. So just posted something today, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
because I know the videos you sent me was very, very good, especially the solo ones or
And
what
that was a
have you.
custom too that I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
That was a custom
Oh.
I did that they wanted me to play with myself and squirt in my panties. And I was like, all right, done.
Mm-hmm. Oh, most definitely. And see, too, that's the other thing is that you squirt. So it's
Yes.
it's like when you're doing solo. See, that's what I tell people. It's not only okay. Like I have a conversation with a girl a while back. I said, "Well, how many toys do you have?" And she told me I got 2 toys. Well, if all
Hmm.
you want to do is solo, don't you think you need more?
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I was gonna say, regardless of being solo, why only two toys? I've got like 10 and I've had those, rotating for years.
Yeah. Yeah, because like even with I eventually want to if I ever get back into the film and production again, I want to get a fuck scene. I'm like, you can get a cheap ass fuck machine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The different type, dildo that you could use, different sizes and the whole nine. And it's kind of like to me, I think that because it's gotten so easy for girls to get in with that, now every girl uses that. But at the
Yeah.
same token, not looks good. So can you tell people to you when you see a solo scene, what makes a solo scene works versus
For
what they do that don't make it work?
Okay, yeah. So if it's just like a scene where you're just sitting on the bed, just playing with yourself, there's nothing going on and, no aesthetics in the background, that gets boring after a while, just seeing the
Mm-hmm.
same old thing. That's why I switch it up every once in a while and I'll use
Mm-hmm.
different parts of my house to do that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, you know, everything around me is a part of the scene. So whether it be
Mm-hmm.
like the color of the furniture I'm on or the lighting, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the colored lingerie I'm wearing, everything has to flow. And the
Mm-hmm.
toy that I'm using and how much energy I'm going to be able to get out of that toy. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's one girl I used to watch her name Annabelle. I can't think of her last name. What I liked about her was even though she did solo, she made it look like it was virtual reality. Like even to
mhm,
the point that at some points of the video, you didn't see the dildo fucking her, but you seen her bouncing her tits like she's riding a dick, or she's
yep,
on her back and she bouncing tits like he hitting it. And then eventually she show you the what call it. To me, that's a great way of doing a solo because now you're giving them a different type way to look at the solo versus it's just you sitting there with your legs curled up in the goddamn air and you just going to town with a dildo.
right,
Period.
right. Like I'm looking at, the camera, I'm looking directly as if a fan was sitting there watching my stuff, and I'm talking directly to them.
Yeah.
I'm not just sitting there just playing with myself. not doing more. I'm interacting with the fan, just through the camera. And that seems to work for now, for what my fans like.
Yeah, because even with the POVs that I used to do, not all of them were straight fuck scenes. Some of them I did was like she would talk to the camera. I literally shake the camera like I said, yeah. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, I've seen those, yep.
And to me, I think in this day and age, what is lost is just creativity.
Yes.
There's no creativity no more.
Yeah. People just think you can just go on there, do this, and then make money off of it. You got to actually have some energy into it. You got to have your heart into it. You can't just come into it without, actually wanting to make something better for someone else and yourself.
Yeah. Let's talk to a lady that been in the business 10 years. And the key to any girl is females have a 3-year window. Let's keep it real. The first year you banging, second year is all right, third year, now you're questioning whether you want to be in it. Because the money went down, because the money goes up and down, and a lot of people don't talk about that.
Yep.
So to me, what I've learned is that girls must be able to adjust to how the game changes, and the game changes very quickly. Within that, did you learn that? And what else did you learn about the business within the year you've been?
Well, first I learned that I need to be watching other creators, especially the more established talent like yourself, like Mulan Blossom, Princess Havoc. Everybody that you've had on is people I've been watching for years. So watching them, learning them, listening to what they're saying. Like Jenna James, she was giving tips on her Twitter for a while, and I was following that. Not following it to a T, making it my own, but working on, like you said, the creativity, feeling that out, feeling what my fans want, kind of responding to how the waves come and go. So when the dry season is, which happens to be for me May through July, apparently right now my OnlyFans is popping. So
yeah. Now I tell people certain parts of years you be, part of years you don't, and you have to learn how to adjust and be able to find ways to increase your flow. Period. Now speaking of that, because you did mention the poly thing, now that you and your poly boyfriend are now filming, let's talk about poly. All right, now recently why I decided this conversation because I heard a conversation on another lovely T, shout out to her, and they were talking about how ABC did this expose about poly, how many of the people use the sex app or could do threesomes. They talk to a young lady who's supposedly in a poly, even though they didn't talk to the husband and wife that she's supposed to be in a poly with or what have you. And she kind of was confused because she said she wanted a family, she wanted a relationship, she wanted kids, all that, blah, blah, blah. But one thing I have noticed is that a lot of people do not understand what. So please break down to them what polyamorous is, polygamy, all that shit. Go ahead. Okay.
So polyamory is where you have the ability to love more than one person, where polygamy is the one, like the one guy with multiple wives. That much I'm not into. I don't know much about, nor would I get into, but the polyamory I always kind of have been. But growing up, in a Christian household and taught, traditional monogamy, it's taken a lot to become polyamorous, to open up to that, because it's a lot of unlearning of monogamy, unlearning of toxic behaviors like jealousy and stuff like that.
So why do people get the two mixed up? Because
I think because polygamy is been more on TV, been more documented than polyamory has, because it's also not the norm. It's not society's norm, which is all, monogamy. You're supposed to be like one-on-one, and you're never supposed to be attracted to other people other than your partner, which is a whole lot of bullshit. And I've only officially been polyamorous for about a year, though I always have been what's called polysexual, maintaining multiple sexual relationships that were intimate but not like commitment. So, more than friends but not titled.
Okay. Now, with polyamorous, not in polygamy, because I get you. Because it's funny how they always make it a point to push the polygamy.
Yes.
And the man with multiple wives. You never see. It's funny. You never see the woman with multiple men.
Right. Exactly.
That's funny. Even when, like, my wife, she watches a couple of people on YouTube. She said it. Sitting there with both her boyfriends, this shit is not easy. I got to satisfy both these motherfuckers emotionally, mentally, and physically.
Yes.
And sometimes they act like bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of like, what's the biggest mistake people make entering into a polyamorous relationship that you have seen?
Okay. For me personally, because I can only speak to me, is that I've had to unlearn being, like I said before, jealous, unlearn monogamous things. I'm only coming out of a 13-year marriage, divorced 2 years ago, and still trying to figure myself out, but not wanting to be tied down to one. And as selfish as that sounds, it's really not, because my normal nature is to love as much as possible. For me personally, it's helped me face my fears of relationships, face my own fears of, rejection, and clear those wounds out, those traumas, to be able to elevate into this polyamorous relationship that I have. The one that's titled. I do have other partners, and as well as he does, because we are long distance. I'm near Philadelphia, he's in Georgia. So it's tricky, though. He'll be up here in 2 weeks, and we'll have a lot more content coming.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all probably gonna catch him.
We'll only have to get out of bed for water and food. That's about it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I call fuck fest. You fuck, eat, and sleep. That's it.
Exactly.
And we eat. We order delivery or cook. Butt ass naked. It's that.
Exactly. But like you were saying, though, when you first brought in a polyamory a little while ago, you were talking about the one person talking to a couple. That's a unicorn. Yeah. I've been in that position too a couple of years ago when I got out of my, divorce. I was a unicorn coming into this couple who were hoping to save their relationship because they wanted a third in there. Yeah. And she supposedly wanted to explore her bisexual side. And I'm bi-curious, so I was like, all right, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm there for the dick. I don't care. Fuck me with a toy or fuck me with a real dick. I don't care. I just want to orgasm here. So, yeah. So that coming into that's a tricky situation. And there's a bunch of accounts that I follow on Instagram and Twitter that are great resources for polyamory. So, like Polyam Awareness, ENM Inclusion, which is ethical non-monogamy. There's a whole bit. It's like a polyamory is the umbrella, and there's a ton of different sections underneath of it. Kind of like Christianity's big umbrella, and has like Catholicism and like Presbyterian or like Lutheran or whatever. That's kind of what polyamory is. It's this big umbrella that has all these different versions of it under there. Remodeled Love is another one that I follow on Instagram, and I absolutely love her because she's real. She talks about the jealousy. She talks about, what it's like having your partner date and you're home, and then you go out on a date or in their home. It's, it's really real. It talks about the real subjects.
Yeah, because the biggest thing is, especially when you're in a poly, because I heard this on one girl with one conversation where a girl said he was just seemed like he had a better relationship with the new girl than her, and I was saying to my wife, I said, well, yeah, because she's new.
That's the honeymoon phase, that new relationship energy.
Yeah, it's when that goes away do you really see. And like I told her, I said, you don't see jealousy creeps in. the and it's beat both the men and the women.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like with the jealousy, we've been able, my boyfriend and I have been able to actually talk about that without getting hostile or angry or
Yeah.
upset. It's been open conversations. That's the thing. This is the most conscious relationship I have ever experienced in my, 21 years as an adult. So, this is the most woke relationship I have ever had. And it's been so healing too. That's the thing. After coming out of a codependent marriage, being raised by two codependent people and seeing my ex's codependent parents, it was like, dude, this is not right. There was nothing but fighting and, jealousy and anger. And once that ended and I found this wonderful man, his name's Mark, by the way, he's given me permission to say his name and talk about him. So yeah, so it's amazing. It absolutely is nothing less than amazing to be able to talk about your insecurities up front and openly and have them not just validated, but also not taken in a hostile way and not have it like thrown back at you. Actually have someone listen to those issues. That's the best thing about polyamory, in my opinion, is when it's this level, you can actually talk about everything and it helps heal so many relationship wounds. So
I think better when you're older in mind, and especially if you're already married and the wife, that y'all are older and y'all been together for a very long time, to the point that y'all know each other and know y'all not going to go anywhere. I see the issue come when these young motherfuckers, like early 30s into their 20s, that's where the polyamory just go haywire. And I also noticed that when it's an older couple bringing a younger girl, it doesn't. What do you think of that?
No, I agree. It definitely takes some life experiences first to truly get into the polyamory lifestyle. I don't know if it's a lifestyle. I call it a lifestyle because I know certainly my family is completely shocked when I came out. Bisexual was nothing to come out to, but polyamorous, they're all like in shock right now.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Which is crazy because I was going to ask you that. How do your family and friends take you being that?
The older generation is coming around. Now the younger generation, like my sisters, my cousins, my niece and nephew, they're all like, my niece and nephew being the youngest in their late 20s. So everybody's kind of like, all right, awesome. Go for it. You're happy. They saw how miserable I was with my ex-husband, So they were like, go for it. As long as you're happy, we don't care. And they actually all get to meet him in a couple of weeks at a big family event. So all at once. Should be interesting.
I know there's going to be interesting. Like, so huh? Your grandma gonna be like, that's it.
If my dad's mom was still living, she probably would have hit on my boyfriend for sure.
Yeah.
That's where I get that
like,
from.
Since you're poly, why would you get this girl without the dope pussy, young man? Come here, boy.
Especially my dad's mom, because she's Indonesian and she doesn't care. She loves all men. She loved all men when she was living. She didn't care. She was hitting on everybody. It doesn't matter what age you were, as long as you were an adult.
As long as you of age.
Yes,
if it's grass on the field, we can play. But to me, society's glamorizing it and making it a fad. Do you think that's good or bad?
I think it's I see it both ways. I see it where it's bringing light to the subject of polyamory, that the generations are coming up and seeing and admitting that monogamy is not necessarily a good thing. If people want to do it, that's great. I'm not going to judge. But for the most part, the way we've seen monogamy when we were growing up, it was codependent. It was, you were just with this partner for the rest of your life, even if you were miserable. That's how that's how I saw it growing up.
Yeah.
And I see it on the negative side where people are going to, demonize it at first. They're like, no, you don't need to be with multiple people. Oh my God, that's so weird. You know, one of the blogs I follow just talked about that today, actually. You know, she was talking to her friends and they're like, God, that's just so weird. Why would you do that? You know, you don't care that he's going out with someone else. And yeah, that completely, that's the part that blows my older generation of the family. So, you know, that kind
No,
of
I'm
blows my
saying it's funny,
mind.
like one of my uncles, one of my uncles, he kind of knew what my wife did,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a conversation with him about it. Whatever. He said, you know, 'cause I told him, I said, you know, I don't give a fuck what my boys think, but I
Mm-hmm.
said, what I'm saying, my family, my mom and them are fine. He was like, man, let me tell you something, boy. He said, first of all, your mama didn't get the fuck over it because shit, hell, every female
Mm-hmm.
hold it.
Yep.
Some did it for free, some did it for pay. So that don't mean shit. He said,
Mm-hmm.
give away that heart and that mind very few times, but they can give away that pussy a million times.
Yep.
And what that meant to me was that you don't worry about, because you have dudes that trip because their woman got a lot of bodies before they met them,
Yep.
period. So I just find it interesting that a lot of guys, they're ready to jump to do this polyamorous, but they're not mature enough or mental enough to handle it. Because part
Yes.
of that is you got to handle that your woman can do just as much as you.
Yep. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah.
You
And a
know?
lot of dudes do that. And women can't handle it either.
Yeah, sometimes I mean it definitely goes both sides, you know, both sides of the relationship.
Mhm.
It took a lot for me to hear recently that my boyfriend had a quickie with an old friend, and I was like, okay, I'm both jealous and turned on. How do you feel about that? Because she's kind of sexy, so I was like, I'm kind of turned on that one.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
So,
and,
so,
and he
so
and he hears
no,
about my stuff. Yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead.
And how he handles it when he hears your stuff.
He listens. He's okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being a guy, you know, he expresses what he can verbally, and then I'll
Mm-hmm.
just listen for, you know, like the tone or the, you know, when we're together, it's the body language or how he looks. But
Mm-hmm.
he knows that, you know, he's here for a while. The fact that we made it through a pandemic and long
Yeah.
distance, you
Yeah.
know, and can't come to where we are, it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're good. We're solid at
Yeah.
this point. So,
Because I think what people get mad about and don't get, you can't avoid the jealousy because you're human.
yes.
The key is to be jealous with understanding. I guess is the best way
Yes.
to put it. Can you explain that to the people?
Yes,
What I mean by
it
that?
is. Because we all have insecurities. We all
Mm-hmm.
have, you know, relationship traumas and wounds, you know, going through our life
Mm-hmm.
experiences, depending on your age. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when you're able to talk about it in a mature way
Mm-hmm.
where the other person is listening to those insecurities and not faulting you for them, and
Mm-hmm.
then they're talking about their insecurities and you're not faulting them, that's a whole different level of relationship. That, yeah, it's like I said, it was conscious. It's
Mm-hmm.
being aware of your own insecurities, that it's not the other person's fault that you have these
Mm-hmm.
insecurities. That's the other
Mm-hmm.
thing, is realizing that those insecurities belong to you, and how you react to
Mm-hmm.
those, you know, thought processes is how it changes the relationship. Because the other person, you know, yeah, I'm sure I'm jealous, but that's on me. That's on me to figure out. That's not on him to figure out or validate. You know,
Mm-hmm.
granted, yes, it's a relationship. I'd like you to listen, you know, at
Mm-hmm.
least. You don't have to give me advice or fix the situation, but just listen to my insecurities and maybe, you know, give me an extra, you know, I love you
Yeah.
and reassure me, and then we can be on our way. But it's still just acknowledging those insecurities and those fears, that jealousy, and then moving on from them, not holding on to them.
Okay. So when you come time to pick, I don't know. Well, with y'all polyamorous, that y'all, because y'all long distance, that y'all
Mm-hmm.
pretty much see other people. Do y'all have a boundary on who each of you can see?
Not yet.
Like,
We're still evolving.
okay,
We're
then,
still
okay, then,
evolving in that sense. We started out as non-monogamous.
okay.
So initially we, you know, both of us growing up monogamous, We wanted to do non-monogamous where we were open and able to see other people because of our distance. But now I think we're both, because of the distance right now in my own home situation, being in the middle of a transitional move to potentially move down to Georgia, we're still evolving our boundaries. You know, they're ever changing. We're always talking about them. You know, I can't put my expectations on him if I don't talk about them first. And same with him. So we don't have any like limits on who we see or how we see them, you know, as long as it's safe and we're both comfortable and trust the person and we trust each other.
This is a elephant in the room question. If monogamy was never pushed, let's say throughout history, would...
Yes.
Explain.
Okay. Think back to, you know, Greek mythology, Roman mythology, the gods. Zeus was screwing everyone.
Yeah,
You know?
basically. Yeah.
You know, and that's how the Greeks and Romans were. They, you know, sex was open. And then, you know, no offense to Christianity, but Christianity came in and, you know, when everything was interpreted, everything had to go this way. We're only supposed to be with man and woman and not any other combination of man, woman, or woman and woman or man and man.
Even though even though we have Solomon, we have David.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
which is so funny to me that we so monogamous that our greatest saint killed him so he could date his wife.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all real monogamous,
Yeah, exactly.
The Bible back then was written by Tyler Perry. Smoke that over. Because that's a Tyler Perry fucking show right there. There you go.
Yeah. That's a whole nother topic though, like monogamy and why it was kind of pushed, and it was that's a whole other subject I can go into.
Yeah, because because when you think about it, that's what the term homosexuality even come into existence till Christianity came into existence.
Yeah.
You know, period. I mean, because they didn't even name it in the Bible. So, and to me, poly has always been around because it's the community built. Even in Africa, even in Europe, people don't want to admit that poly was a part of it. Think about the Wiccans, the Druids, the
pagans.
The pagans. Motherfucker, they were doing orgies.
I'm a witch, so I use sex magic. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's a whole.
Why I keep running into Wiccan? It's like I always attract Wiccan. No, I put it this way. Go ahead.
No,
go.
I'm not Wiccan. I don't identify as Wiccan. I am just a witch right now, trying to find my path. The path I keep going on is more pagan based, more natural, into the earth magics. But sex magic is fun.
that is, you know, something. I would say something, but I'm gonna leave that alone right there. Well, but serious business. No, it's like you're like, I always end up attracting somebody that's in that world. It's funny because I work with Wendy Wet. She was a witch, and I ran into a couple of girls that I worked with that was into that, or what have you.
Nice.
So, and to me, I got no issue with it. I actually look into the pagan stuff. I'm a history buff anyway.
Right.
So, you know, because like I had that discussion with somebody a while back. It was like, with pagan. I said, no. Pagan's religion. It's not what you think it is. It's just their religion that was done in Britannia back in the day. And it was based off of natural and nature. Yep. You know, like I tell anybody, magic is like a gun. It can be used for good. It can be used for evil. So shit. I find that sexy. That which is sexy myself. I'm not even gonna lie.
You might have to create a scene for that.
Ooh, shit. I never got a chance to do a succubus scene. I always wanted to do one of them.
Ooh, okay.
Do one of them because that would be, oh God, I had it set up too. Where I'm supposed to be like this ghost hunter in this room, and I'm gonna stay there for a night. I fall asleep, the sucker bitch come through. She all dressed in magic, but that nigga fuck the shit out of me. I wake up the next day, got them come on my stomach, like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
That sounds like a fun scene right there. We might
Oh
have to do
yeah.
something like that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. So shoot. So I mean, but like I said, I mean, to me, I think that they're trying to normalize it, which is nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to normalize it, give the best information possible.
Yes.
So people can know, because the problem is that when you normalize it, you make it cool. Now everybody can do it, but not everybody meant to do it.
Yes. Yes.
And then
that's a thing.
A lot of PSD when it comes to relationship that don't necessarily need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know
well, that's like Willow Smith talked about that a couple of months ago, coming out to her, talking about it with her mom on her show, about what polyamorous is like for her, and that, she's the one that's it's not all about sex. It's a love. It's having that love. Like Willow Smith said, among all of her friends, she's the one that has the least amount of sex, and yet she's the one who's polyamorous. So it's not what people think it is. It's not all about sex. No. It's about love
and see, that's the way they push it. They push it to be about sex.
Yes,
you feel what I'm saying?
What everybody automatically thinks, because you have multiple partners, or multiple relationships. It's all about sex. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not. I'd say 95% of the time it's not.
Yeah, because to me, this how I look at it. I'm like, no, because you dating 4 dudes, no, you're not polyamorous, baby. You're just being a hoe at that moment.
Exactly. You can be polysexual depending on the dynamic of those 4 dudes, like I was. Before I met my boyfriend, I had at least 4 dudes running, but we were all, intimately connected beyond just friendship. So not really boyfriend, girlfriend, but still having that connection to be able to go cuddle with someone and have that, reassurance or sensory input come into your body, while having an orgasm. And then, all right, cool, you're not sleeping at my house, go. But still being cool,
Yeah, most definitely. And then too, also, you're going to have, now, him being your boyfriend, I feel that any polyamorous, you got to have that solid foundation. Whether it's the guy, that girl that you started with, that's a solid foundation. Whether it's the girl, it's the guy that you started with. How important is that being submitted before you decide to deal with others?
That's a huge thing for me, at least. And I can't speak for my boyfriend specifically, but for me, we had to be on a solid foundation for us to be titled in a relationship. Like, we already knew we were heading in that direction, but it's actually, him being able to talk about that and me being able to accept that, especially long distance. We're both 40 somethings. We were like, long distance relationships never work until we, met each other last year, and we're like, this wasn't supposed to be a relationship, but here we are. We were just supposed to be good fuck buddies while he was still here.
And that's how it happens too.
Yep,
you go from fuck buddies to dating.
The sex was so good, we just kind of like didn't really.
I think I want to keep you around. I think I want to keep you around.
Right. Well, see, he was living in Jersey at the time. We met through FetLife and Facebook. And so we were, just going to be hookup buddies. It was fun, and then, he had already had plans in motion to move back down to Georgia with his family, to be with his family like the week before COVID restrictions hit up here in the Philly region. So, those plans were already in motion, and we were like, we didn't expect to be this connected, but here we are. What do we do now?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's how it happened. When you ain't looking for it, you find it.
Exactly.
So most definitely. So tell everybody where they can find you, baby.
To what?
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, where they can find me. Sorry, my microphone went out for a second.
Oh no,
so you can find me. Find me on my link tree on Twitter, which is Kitty Cat Phoenix. I believe it's Kitty Cat, and then underscore Phoenix on both Instagram and Twitter. And you can find me on OnlyFans, just for fans. And I'm getting ready to set up a model centro. So after our last conversation, I went ahead with that. That you suggested. Just working on getting that up and running. So
yeah, most definitely. So life is a learning experience. What's the point? Thing. Smoke that over. Thank you for coming to the lounge, baby girl. I can't wait to bring you back for some more.
Awesome. Talk to you later.
No doubt.